Coming to you from the inner sanctum of the big blue house in the middle of nowhere. This is me, myself, and Flint. Hey guys, I've changed up locations again. I've kind of moved into the house this time to record. Um, I got to thinking about it a little bit. I've been feeling kind of off here lately. Like, no matter what I say or do, I'm not that good at speaking. I'm not that good at talking or saying what's on my mind. I struggle with my words. Growing up in school, I did have issues with my speech. A lot of times people couldn't understand what I was saying, and I still struggle with the words I'm trying to say. A lot of times you'll see me just kind of stop for a moment and not not say anything for just a moment because honestly I'm having to think about what I have to say. I like to have my thoughts. I like to think about what I'm saying before I say it. And honestly, I feel like it made me think about Moses, and it's something I debated on doing this for a long time. Just getting into talking to people and spreading God's word and trying to help others out. And I kept making excuses of, oh, I'm not good at it. People ain't gonna listen to me. I'm not. I can't talk worth the flip. Uh, I'm not a good Bible student. I was making excuses after excuses, and it made me think about Moses. When God was sending him to Egypt after to bring the Israelites out of captivity. I think I'm going to start at the beginning of chapter 4, Exodus chapter 4, and this is kind of the say verse 10 really is what makes me kind of think of myself and the excuses that I made uh, for not doing this show sooner. But it starts out, Moses answered, what if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, the Lord did not appear to you? Then the Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? A staff, he replied. The Lord said, throw it on the ground. Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, reach out your hand and take it by the tail. So Moses reached out and took hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. This, said the Lord, is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you. Then the Lord said, put your hand inside your cloak. So Moses put his hand inside his cloak, and when he took it out, the skin was leprous. It had become as white as snow. Now put your hand back into your cloak, he said. So Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored, like the rest of his flesh. Then the Lord said, if they do not believe you or pay attention to the first sign, they will believe the second. But if they do not believe these two signs or listen to you, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground. Now listen to this. This is where it really gets me. The excuse that I made oftentimes. Verse 10. Moses said to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." But get this though, this is what God says back to him. The Lord said to him, "Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." Then listen to this. This is another excuse or something else Moses says. But Moses said, "Pardon your servant, Lord. Please send someone else." Oh, that was the wrong thing for him to say. Because then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "What about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand so you can perform signs with it." So, really, Moses made all sorts of excuses not to do what God wanted him to do. And I feel like I make a lot of the same excuses, especially not being able to talk, not being eloquent in speech, uh, being slow of tongue. Uh, so, another thing I was thinking about, and this goes back to Genesis. I got to thinking about Abraham though. Oh man, you talk about somebody with some faith. Abraham had some faith. Uh, let me see if I can find it. See here. What chapter are you in? I struggle with knowing exactly what chapters. I know he's in Genesis. But I struggle with what chapters to. See. We'll get all that. But anyway, I was thinking about Abraham. You know what's amazing about him? He did not. Oh, that's the flood. Okay, here we go. It's Genesis chapter 12. But get this, Abraham had so much faith, he didn't question God. He went when he was told to go. And I want to be able to be more like that. There's a lot of times I make excuses. I'm like, "Oh, I'm too tired. I don't feel like it. I have nothing to talk about." And really, tonight, I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. But in Genesis chapter 12, Abraham, before God changed his name was Abram. So, in Genesis chapter 12, starting with verse 1, the Lord had said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all the peoples on earth will be blessed through you." So Abram went as the Lord told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he set out for Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan, and they arrived there. So Abraham picked up his stuff, packed up his family, packed up his possessions, and Abram was not a poor guy. He had cattle, he had servants, he had a wife, nephew, livestock, goats, cattle, all sorts of stuff that he had to gather up and make this trip. And the trip that he was making, he did not know where he was going. All God told him was, "Hey, get your stuff, get moving. I'll tell you when to stop." You know what Abram did? He did not think twice about it. He did not ask a question. He did not make an excuse. He just up and went. He left the land he grew up in. He was 75 years old and he just said, "Well, God said go. I gotta go." And what did he do? He went. And I want to be more like that. I feel like God's calling me to do this, to speak to people, to talk what's on my mind. I feel like He's guiding me in what I need to say so that I can help others and kind of guide others to His Word. And I want to be like Abraham or Abram and just go where God tells me to go. And I feel like this is where He's leading me to. And um, I want to stop making excuses of, like Moses did. I need to quit making those excuses because I know God's going to be angry at me for making excuses of why I can't do something. Because He, like Moses, He gives me the ability to do it. He will guide me into what I need to say. And I need to have faith of Abraham and do that and just up and go. So, one other thing, something else I've been kind of thinking about, see here, is found in Ezekiel. Sorry, my dogs are barking at the neighbor going by in the four-wheeler. Uh, Ezekiel, let's see if I got this right. Blah, blah, blah. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 30. I looked for someone among them who would build up the wall. This is after Jerusalem had been, the wall had been destroyed around Jerusalem, so the wall has to be rebuilt. It says, I looked for someone among them who would build up the wall and stand before me in the gap on behalf of the land, so I would not have to destroy it, but I found no one. Guys, we gotta learn to stand in the gap. That's what I'm trying to do, is stand in that gap. And trying to be what I need to be to lead others to Christ, to help others find God's grace and His mercy by filling that gap that was left. And I'll put it this way: there, there's a guy here recently that was filling the gap. His name was Charlie Kirk, and he filled the gap so greatly that it's going to be hard to fill his shoes, to fill that gap that he left when he was killed. But we need to, as Christian people, we need to step up and fill the gap left by the ones that come before us. The ones that are working hard, doing the best they can to lead others, to teach others God's Word. And we need to fill that gap to help those who are around us. We don't have to go to other countries. I know there's a lot of missionaries out there. They go to other countries. They're always going to other countries. But we need to start looking at ourselves. Look at our country. Help our country. Because our country is in desperate need. We need to fill the gaps in our country. Step up and fill those gaps so we can be an example to other countries of what we are, who we are as a Christian nation. Because it will only be by God's grace, God's hand will guide us if we follow Him, if we have the people to fill that gap. And we need to quit making those excuses like Moses and start following like Abraham and fill the gaps that are needed around this country to be the best country we can be, to be the best people we can be. So, with that said, I think I'm gonna call it a night, and I'm gonna head to bed here soon. I'm getting pretty tired. So, anyway, hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.